Hi Libra, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your October 2016 forecast for the month. It's a beautiful day out here. The Santa Ana winds are going though. It's super windy, and I'm just wanting to thank you for tuning in and for subscribing to my channel and for your support on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. And I'm using the Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place. It's my steadfast deck. And more than likely, I will be using it if you choose me to read for you. I will be reading with you over the phone with this. So let's start our month. There's a lot going on. Here come the winds. Yes. So on the 7th, we have Mercury entering your sign. So there's a lot going on with Libra now that Jupiter is in your first house of self and the Sun is conjunct that energy there. So when Mercury enters Libra, he will also be conjunct the Sun and Jupiter, expansive energy. The two most benevolent planets, the Sun and Jupiter, in your first house of self, body, beautiful placement. This is your year, Libra. With Mercury there, it's all about details, analysis, information, clients coming in, the way you are speaking, the way you are heard, the way you are interpreting messages and information. And now that Mercury is direct, this should all be smooth sailing and very sweet year, full year for Libra. But this transit in particular, where they're all conjunct, will last through the month of October. On the 16th, we have our full moon at 23 degrees of Aries in your 7th house of relationships, of partnerships, business partnerships, and marriage, soulmates. Libra, or Aries, is the opposite sign of Libra across from you on the astrological wheel, so that is the house of the significant other. For those of you in relationships, committed relationships, the full moon is the illumination, the awareness, can bring an ending, can bring a culmination in this sector that it resides, and for you that's the 7th house. Something needs to be seen here in partnerships for you, Libra. Perhaps some of you are reevaluating who you are in business with. Maybe some of you are actually considering ending a marriage at this time, and that would be mid-month. Or there's something that you need to become aware of when the full moon illuminates the sector. So perhaps you're keeping it to yourself, but there's an element of release with a full moon. And that could apply in very different ways because there are thousands, if not millions of you. So it could be very different. On the 18th, we have Venus entering Sagittarius. And this is the planet of harmony and smoothing over, beautification, in the sign that governs your 3rd house of communications. So a lot of people are listening to Libra right now. You're very fair and balanced anyway with judgment, and people come to you a lot for advice and look up to Libra as a guide, as someone who is very fair and knowledgeable and balanced. So having the planet of balance in your 3rd house of communication, it really suits you well for how you're speaking, how you're writing. You know, writing would be brilliant for Libra to get involved in. If you've never considered that, consider publishing something in your lifetime, because when Venus moves into this sector, she will be conjunct Saturn, who is stationed here. And Saturn is here through the end of December of 2017. So Saturn is restructuring and tweaking, fine tweaking or honing in on where are your lessons, where are you limited, is there a restructuring here in the 3rd house of communications, and perhaps Libra's communication style is changing throughout that Saturn visit there. But with Venus here, it's like you feel the need to express yourself. And maybe you're expressing the love. Maybe you have a lot of love to share, and that's also what Venus is. On the 22nd, ooh, it is windy. I mean, the whole damn table is moving. Yikes. I hope I don't blow away up in here. On the 22nd, the Sun enters Scorpio, and this is when a lot of our Scorpio energy is activated. The 2nd house for you. Scorpio governs your house of income, money, budget, self-worth, and self-value as well. Hold on one second. Let me adjust this. Okay. So with the Sun entering this sector on the 22nd, Mercury entering the second sector on the 24th, and then 6 days later on the 30th, we have our new moon here at 7 degrees of Scorpio. So this is great for those of you wanting to accrue extra income. The second house of budget is strong with the sun there, and Mercury is information again, is insight. So your new moon here as well wants to see you plant the seeds of fruition, write it down, or mentally prepare for this being the only new moon you'll receive in one full year in the second house of income. How do you want to earn your money, Libra? What is fair and just to you? Is there money due to you that you need to receive? This is the time you'll collect around the new moon of the 30th. And if it's not on that exact day, it's around that area. It's the end of the month. It could be maybe the first couple of days of November as well. Throughout this month, there are a lot of squares happening between some planets that I wanted to address, but I really feel like there's one in particular that I want to hone in on, and that is the Mars-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn in your 4th house of home and environment, squaring Uranus in Aries in your 7th house of marriage and relationships. So Pluto has been in Capricorn for years now, and that's not new. That's the 4th house of home, and you felt some intensity with the female figures in your life, mother, daughter, wife, the 4th house of mother and the maternal energies of your family, Pluto being the intensity. But Mars hasn't always been there, and on the 12th of October, Mars will be exactly sitting to the degree on top of Pluto. And through November 4th, only until that date will they then be at a 9-degree separation, which as an astrologer I would consider enough dissipation of energy to not be as harsh when they reach about 9 degrees. So from the 12th of October through November 4th, we have Mars on top of Pluto conjunct squaring Uranus. The planet Mars is anger and fire and rapid, rushed energy, anger and aggression. And Pluto is loss and deconstruction and destruction. And Pluto is death. And this all squares Uranus, which is electricity and volcanic energy. And I mentioned this in my September forecast. This does not bode well for natural disasters. I mean, this is a volcanic eruption, these planets, the way they're positioned, or earthquake energy. And I said in some videos, the ground will be shaking. It'll be ground-breaking energy because it's requiring change. Squares require change. The discord is just uncomfortable enough to shift it up. And I just felt like tectonic plates shift. This energy is that. So this is disruptive. And I think on a global level, this timeline coinciding with, in the Northern Hemisphere in the States, our political situation around the 4th of November. I don't like the energy here. It's very aggressive. And I feel that there's going to be a little bit of an uproar going on. So we'll see how it applies. But on a global level, it just doesn't look very peaceful. And we'll see how we can get through that time period. Okay, let's get to the cards, Libra, and see how this applies for you for October. Sorry, I had to shut this off and come back on. It is so windy that my tarp is like falling down. It's pretty hectic. This is probably the last recording I'll do today. Okay, so I'm shuffling the alchemical deck to see what cards come up for Libra. And please check your ascendant and your rising ascendant and moon sign for your forecast as well. And if you'd like to book with me, I'm at audreyalison.com. I read all through the week. You would select your desired reading length via the PayPal button, and I would get back to you in an email and we can set something up. Okay, Libra, here are your cards. The 5 of Cups. A breaking of position. See how those birds are flying separate ways? you have that full moon in that 7th house. Some of you Librans, not all of you, and this cannot apply the same way to every Libra. That's why I tell you to check your ascendant as well as your moon. Some of you Libras are actually going your separate way in relationship, and that's okay. That happens. Let's see what else is coming up. The Knight of Cups. This is about having a strong intuition, and you see how he's in the water, guided by the water? The cups are water in the tarot, your emotional sensibility. This is about finding answers within, self-guidance, maybe retracting, being behind the scenes a little bit, the Knight of Cups. 6 of Coins. For those of you with children, this is very beautiful for sharing and generosity and trust and respect. This is a shared resources card regardless, whether it's involving children or not. It's getting paid what you're due. I mentioned that earlier. Some of you Libras are owed some kind of money. Master of Feelings, the King of Staves, the King of Wands. A lot of Librans are feeling romantic, are feeling feisty, physical. This isn't an emotional card, it's fire. It's about passion and physicality. So perhaps you're intuitively reviewing emotional connection and whether or not that is something you are sticking back on the shelf in that vase, or is the vase coming to the ground and you're flying your separate ways. I think a lot of you, he's holding some kind of vase too, or what looks like to be like urns. Perhaps some of you are putting an end to one relationship and diving headfirst into another because of the water, getting that as a symbolism. Maybe you're feeling a lot of wanting to share your resources with someone. Or maybe it's that your kids need some financial help and protection at this time, and you're more than lovingly happy to provide it for them. The Master of Feelings would never leave anyone, hurting or in need of assistance. There would always be a hand to hold with the King of Fire. And if that's representing some of you Librans, that's how your spirit is right now. Now, for that not applying to you, there could be a fire sign male around you in your life, an Aries, Sagittarius, or Leo, that has your interest, and that is someone that you might want to share your resources with. Perhaps it's a business partnership that you're putting an end to in the 7th house, taking relationship out of it. Some Librans are extremely happy, and there's no need to worry. If you're in a happy relationship, then you're in a happy relationship. There's no dismantling. But the full moon in the 7th could see you putting an end to shared resources with that 6 of Coins, with a business partnership, and then you're going separate ways with someone that you were in business with. Maybe you're cutting off a long-held tie with someone that you were in a partnership with, and it's time for you to both go your separate ways is what I'm getting. So I hope that was helpful for you. I'm wishing you a sweet October, Libra, and remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.